Hopalong Cassidy. On this Saturday afternoon against Michigan, Cassidy exploded, rushing for 94 yards from scrimmage, intercepting a pass, returning punts and kickoffs, and Ohio State won. But by 1969, a coach named Bo Schembechler had taken over at Michigan. He brought his Wolverines into the Ohio State showdown with a Rose Bowl berth at stake. The game was dead even until Barry Pearson returned this punt for the Wolverines, finding an alley down the middle. The Buckeyes would stop him inside the 5-yard line. But the Schembechler-Woody Hayes wars were underway. And then in 1976, the two met once again, a Rose Bowl berth to the winner. Rob Lytle carried 29 times for Michigan for 165 yards and 1 touchdown. Quarterback Rick Leach did not complete a single pass for Schembechler, but he ran 9 times for 49 yards. And if it wasn't Lytle or Leach, then it was fullback Russell Davis. 24 carries, 83 more yards, 2 touchdowns. By 1981, Earl Bruce had become the coach at Ohio State. And this run by Art Schleister brought the Buckeyes dramatically back to a victory over the Wolverines. And now, another chapter is about to be written in one of the most storied rivalries in all of sport, Michigan and Ohio State. Michigan's key player is sophomore quarterback Chris Zurbrugg. His ball control offense and Schembechler's hard-hitting aggressive defense must throttle the Buckeyes' sensational offensive attack. The Bucks are led by senior quarterback Mike Tomczak. And he will feature the nation's premier running back, Big Keith Byars.
CBS Sports presents college football. Live from Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, it's the Michigan Wolverines versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. Today's game.
Bo Schembechler and the school up north, as they have always been referred to by Woody Hayes. And here come the Buckeyes, led by their coach Earl Bruce. Ohio State, and a win today sends them to Pasadena and an appearance against USC in the Rose Bowl. If there's a criticism of this game through the years, is it too conservative, low scoring, don't do anything offensively.
Now that's been the rap on the coaches, becoming ultra-conservative in this game, waiting for the other guy to make the mistake and then capitalize on it. And of course, historically, these have been low-scoring games. So I went to the record book, did a little research, and found that both teams in the last 15 years, Bo Schembechler, Woody Hayes for 10 years, Earl Bruce for 5, have averaged less than 2 touchdowns. But look at the trend that has developed in the last 2 years. Michigan in the last 2 years has averaged 19 points, Ohio State 22.5. Let's see if that trend continues or they go back to the old low-scoring, close games.
By the minute. The wind will not be a factor in the horseshoe this afternoon. Partly cloudy, no rain or snow in the forecast. Michigan won the coin flip and elected to defer. That means they'll make their decision to start the second half. The Buckeyes of Ohio State will receive, so we will see Keith Byars in action here early in the game. Todd Schlopy, a barefooted kicker, will put it in play for Bo Schembechler and the Wolverines. Number 99 there. And then, we will see what kind of a defensive attack Schembechler and the Wolverine staff have come up to take on the #1 running back in the country this fall.
Well, they're ranked number 2 in the Big Ten Conference defensively, just behind Iowa. That's their strength.
And Byars is back as one of the deep men. That is a bit of a surprise in this game. He has been nursing an injured ankle the last couple of weeks coming out of the Wisconsin game. He is back there with Woolridge. We'll see if Schlopy tries to keep it away from him here. It's to Woolridge. Into the end zone. Bounces out for a touchback. And the Ohio State offense will feature these men on the attack now as they come to the ball. Their quarterback, he must have a consistent game today. The fullback, Barry Walker, good speed and power. And there he is, the nation's premier running back. 21 touchdowns. Lanise outside, smart and sure-handed. And then the great freshman receiver, Chris Carter. And their tight end, Ed Taggart. He's a blocker, not too much of a threat as a receiver. The Buckeyes need some output from that tight end position here today. And there's the #1 man, tailback spot, Keith Byers. Play fake. Tomczak to throw on the first play of the game, and Byers is wide open. They weren't conservative on first down.
Quite a surprise.
Garland Rivers coming over on the hit for Schembechler's defense.
This really is a surprise. Came out throwing the ball. I'm sure that Michigan did not expect it. Tomczak throws the ball to Byers as he sneaks through after being faked to. Rivers comes in and makes the tackle. The element was a surprise right there, if anything.
And a 13-yard gain and a first down for the Buckeyes. Ball up on the 33-yard line. Tomczak gives to the fullback, and that is Walker. And the Wolverines meet him quickly, led by linebacker Tim Anderson, one of their leading tacklers. Now that offensive line, Rory Graves improving. The next man right there, Jim Lachey, a first-rounder in the eyes of many scouts. Maggs is starting for the injured Loudermilk. Zielinski, very strong. And another all-star performer is Karowitz out of Toledo, Ohio. Tomczak, the senior from Calumet City. Checking the defense. Pitch to Byers as the corner. First down. Run out at the 49-yard line, and Brad Cochran, number 30, the defensive corner man, got over on him.
Brent, another surprise. The option play down the line. You saw Tomczak deal the ball off, which was unexpected. Those two plays were unexpected by Michigan. The opening pass, and then, of course, this option play down to the left. Watch, here's Tomczak. Fakes the ball to the fullback Walker, deals the ball off right now. Good blocking out in front, and I don't think Michigan expected it. Two good offensive moves by Ohio State in this opening drive.
And a 16-yard gain. Ball put down at the 49. Buckeyes. Tomczak keeping it, running to the left. Another surprise. And he gained a good 8 yards and took on Garland Rivers, helmet to helmet.
Well, Earl Bruce said yesterday that the party we had last night that he was going to let Tomczak run the ball. I thought he was kidding, but by golly, there he is on the keeper play.
Up against this Michigan defense here this afternoon. These are the men who will try to slow him down. DeFelice replaced the injured Hammerstein, but he started 11 games last year. Sincic could be their best lineman. And Brooks is quick and extremely aggressive. And Scarcelli works in there, too. Those are the men up front now for the Wolverines this afternoon. Byers pounds to the 40-yard line, and he'll have the first down. And some of the other members of the Wolverines, Tim Anderson, who's already made one tackle on them. And there's Mike Mallory. He is their leading tackler. And Rodney Lyles, he's a big play man on the outside. He'll drop back into pass coverage. Sometimes he'll blitz for Bo Schembechler, too.
See Bo's concern right there. He knows the opening drive they've done some surprise things. And he has the right to be concerned.
As a result, the Buckeyes there have a first down on the Michigan 40, but there was movement over there on the left side of the line.
Like Rory Graves jumped down.
University Hospital Intensive Care.
Last year, Michigan upset Ohio State in Ann Arbor, and there was a big play in the fourth period of that game. It's called the Fumble-Rooski. You might remember Nebraska.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
Nebraska used it successfully against Oklahoma 4 years ago, but when Ohio State tried it last year in the fourth quarter, it backfired, and Michigan recovered the fumble. Earl Bruce telling us yesterday there'll be no Fumble-Rooski in this game. At first and 15, Tomczak to put it up. Wants Carter. Incomplete, underthrown. Carter was breaking between two men, and Ivan Hicks, 17, and Garland Rivers, 13, were there on the coverage. The defensive backfield for the Michigan. Garland Rivers, very versatile athlete. And their outstanding player, Brad Cochran, intercepted 2 passes against the Buckeyes a year ago. Ivan Hicks, he's Dwight Hicks' brother. Dwight, of course, plays with the 49ers. And that's Mike's younger brother, Doug Mowry, a very gutty performer this year. He has been slowed by injuries, but he just hangs in there for Schembechler.
Dino Dawson is in there for Taggart as a passing threat. Now they've got 3 good receivers in there.
a 2nd and 15 from the 45. Tomczak play fakes it. Zips one incomplete. Threw in behind Dawson that time, Era.
Good response in there by the defense. They moved as the ball was in the air. Good ball reaction. Number 13 there, Garland Rivers.
This has been a much more wide-open attack by the Buckeyes than we expected.
Really surprises me, and I'm sure it surprises the Michigan coaches. But you can see what happened with that 1 5-yard penalty. Instead of having 1st and 10, it was 1st and 15. They've had to come up with 2 passes here. Now they're faced with a 3rd and 15 situation, and that penalty could have blunted this drive. Let's see what happens.
As a result, Era, the Michigan secondary now can loosen up a little bit. Look for the pass play, and here it comes. They dump it out incomplete over the middle. They wanted Lanise that time. He was underthrown. They put tremendous pressure on Tomczak.
Excellent defensive work by the Michigan ball club, particularly in the secondary, where they reacted to the ball well. They have forced this punt situation, and they stopped that drive. But Ben, as I mentioned, that 5-yard penalty, a little mistake like that, the very thing that Ohio State said they didn't want to make any mistakes, that mistake was costly.
Now here comes one of the most successful punting units in college football. The freshman Tom Tupa will put it up for Earl Bruce, and he gets sensational coverage out of this unit. Gilvani Johnson to return for the Wolverines. They'll let that one go into the end zone. Tupa's strong leg takes it a little too far that time. Ball will come out. It was a 45-yard punt by Tupa, but it went further than he wanted. We're going to come back. Ohio State and Michigan are scoreless in Columbus. Have a ball control and a good day for them. He has an excellent blocker in Eddie Garrett. They have switched tailbacks, however. Rogers is out and Jamie Morris starts. Rogers did not warm up well. He's been hampered by injuries all season, so they have gone to the freshman. This is the fullback, Garrett, up the middle, hit by the left side of that Buckeye defense as they pound right straight ahead for a couple of yards. And let's show you now the rest of that offense for the Wolverines. Triando Marcray, he enjoyed a banner day last year. Vince Bean, he has started every game since a freshman. Sim Nelson, the tight end. Look for him to be used as a pass receiver throughout this game by Zurbrugg. With Zurbrugg, Era, I'd expect we'd see some option action here.
I think we're going to see quite a bit of option football in here, and I think the Ohio State defense is going to be taxed. Let's see how they handle it. Zurbrug's been doing a good job in the last 2 games on the option.
This is Morris. No running room. He was cut off as he went to the corner that time. And again, it was good defense by the Buckeyes. They read the play completely, and Rogan came up, sealed it up, and made the stop.
Good defensive play by Greg Rogan, number 29 there. He came across the line of scrimmage, and Morris had no chance on it. Jamie Morris had no chance.
Now we have Michigan in a passing situation, Era. Exactly where the Buckeyes want to keep Zurbrugg this afternoon. Keep him in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and here, of course, it's 3rd and 10.
You might even see the option here.
He splits the backs. He'll come up throwing. To the right side, out of bounds, overthrew the intended receiver that time. Now, Vince Bean is his veteran receiver here, Era, and watch his signal here.
He's really getting a lot of cushion. He's wide open, but Zurbrugg really throws the ball clear out to the outside there.
He was going underneath to Morris, and he just didn't pick up the open receiver. And so now it'll be Michigan. Monty Robbins punting, standing back on his own 6-yard line. And the official stop play. There was a penalty up at the line of scrimmage. So we're just underway. We've got 11:43 to go here in Columbus, Ohio, and Schembechler is extremely upset.
That's Jokic. Something has happened in the route that was run. That's Jokic, the 6'8" receiver. Take a look here. Marty Robbins, the Michigan kicker, is averaging 44 yards. They got 2 really good punters in this ball game on both sides.
Dead ball, encroachment, offense, 4th down.
Era, that will help the Buckeyes in field position. Lanise is standing back on his own 40. Robbins will now take the snap on his 1-yard line. Lanise lets it hit on the 50. It takes a Michigan bounce. Probably should have stepped up and tried to fair catch it there near midfield, because that allowed the Wolverines to get an extra 11 yards on that. And now it's a 46-yard punt. So we're tied in Columbus, and we'll be right back. on CBS. Here at 1st and 10 for Tom Zak and the Buckeyes. Out of the eye, here comes the big fella, Keith Byers, trying to turn the corner. And they did a good job of stringing out the play, and Cochran made the tackle.
Cochran's a good football player, the defensive right halfback. 6'3", he's 219. He's not a little guy. One of the bigger defensive halfbacks came up and supported very well. Byers was forced way deep on that play. He didn't have much chance to get much leverage.
We make it sound like it was a losing effort. I think he picked
right,
up almost 5 yards.
For him, you expect that, right?
The ball is up at the 43 now. 2nd down. Ken Blair, number 46. He is the fullback for the Buckeyes. Tom Zak keeps it and rolls around. And he's brought down at the 45-yard line by Scarselli, number 85.
Scarselli just followed that play around, did a nice job. Number 85 there, pursued it and was not fooled by Tom Zak's fake.
Last year, Schembechler was able to keep Tom Zak and the Buckeyes on 3rd down all game long, not giving them a 1st down on 1st and 2nd. Here he's got them in 3rd down again early in this game.
And this is a tough down. About 3.5 yards to go for. Tough call to run or pass.
Puts Lanise outside with Carter, and Lanise comes in motion behind Tom Zak. They'll throw it off the fake to Byers. Byers goes out of the pattern. He's picked up. Now they throw it to him. And he gets the 1st down and inside the 45. Beautiful run. I don't know why the defender got off him.
Well, one of the things about that play is that Tom Zak had enough time to throw the football. You start counting the seconds, it looked like he was going to get sacked, but they didn't get to him. Watch here, an end zone view. They fake the ball to Byers. They do a lot of this. Now, Tom Zak's looking downfield for a deeper receiver. Now he moves to the right, waits, and the key to this play and why it's successful is because he had so much time. He finally hits Byers. Byers gets a 1st down.
That was Rodney Lyles, 80, who was coming up in that coverage. And he dropped way back on Byers. Now Tom Zak will pitch to Byers. And again it is Cochran making a sensational defensive play. Ball is rolling loose, but Byers was down there at midfield. But what a game Cochran is turning in here early for Michigan.
And Earl Bruce wasn't kidding last night. He said he was going to run Tom Zak on the option play. And here he is on the option, coming right at you. Mike Tom Zak with that leg that was broken in spring game, number 15. There's Brad Cochran, number 30, coming upfield, was not fooled, and he gets support there from Scarselli, number 85.
Byers having trouble with that ankle, has limped off to the sideline. Woolridge has checked in at tailback. 2nd down for Tom Zak and the Bucks. Woolridge goes out. They throw deep to Lanise for the 1st down inside the 35-yard line and down to about the 33.
Beautiful route by Lanise and a great throw by Tom Zak. Perfect. Got right in the seam. Here's a look at it. Great piece of work. They're rushing 4 people. Michigan is. They're deploying with 7. You see Cochran right there coming up to make the play. There's Mallory, number 42, could not get over there and make the play. And, of course, Lanise gets the 1st down.
16-yard gain. Woolridge still in at tailback. Walker comes back in at fullback. Carter to the right, Lanise to the left. Taggart is the Buckeye tight end. This is Walker right straight ahead. Beat the defensive line that time. This is one of the largest offensive lines in college football. We did a graphic 3 weeks ago in Wisconsin, which showed that the average weight of this Buckeye line is larger than the average of a National Football League line. You're looking at fellas that are bigger than the Cleveland Browns out there. Anytime you see an offensive lineman that starts with a Z and ends with an SKI, you know he can get a couple of fellas.
No little fellas in there.
Rides him down over there. They'll have a 3rd down coming up here. And about 4 yards for the 1st down.
Last time they were confronted with this situation, they threw the football. It is a tough call. It's right in that in-between. It'd be a good place for that split back lead draw that they use that they've been successful with.
They haven't showed us that split back. Sometimes they put Lanise up there in a wing formation. And when they do, watch for Lanise to come through on a bit of a reverse action. They counter with him, but they come out with the I formation here. The pitch to Woolridge. 1st down. Gets inside the 20. Mallory finally back on the tackle.
I really think that Michigan has been surprised by Ohio State using the option play. They have not used it during the course of the year. They've come out here with Tom Zach, and Earl Bruce said yesterday he was going to go ahead and run Tom Zach if he had to. They're forcing the pitch, and Tom Zach is doing a beautiful job on it. They're really keeping them off balance.
Would you believe it? Earl Bruce spoke to us last night and said he was going to use the option. A couple of Michigan people, they were in the audience. I don't think they went back and told Bo. He'll be curious. Who's down now that 10-yard run. They come right back with Woolridge. He got a couple of yards out of that, and that's about all. That is heavy going against this Wolverine defense now inside the 20-yard line.
Well, thus far, you've got to give an awful lot of credit to this Ohio State offensive game plan. They've done a good job. They've kept the Michigan defense off balance, and that's the number 2 defense, as I pointed out, in this conference. They've played well during the course of the year. There's the leading record in the last 5 years is Earl Bruce in this conference.
And he has beaten Schembechler 3-2, and he's got his star back on the field. Byers has checked back in at tailback, number 41. He's set behind Walker, the fullback. 2nd and 8. Tom Zach to put it up. Beautiful catch by Lanise at the 6-yard line. They'll spot it down at the 5-yard line. Cochran was all over him, and Tom Zach drilled it in that time.
Looked like it might have even been interference here as we see Lanise. Watch Cochran come in from the right side. It looked from up here that he might have made contact even before the ball got there. Oh, yeah. It could have been interference, but it was a great catch there by Mike Lanise, whose daddy played for me at Miami of Ohio. 4-point student and almost a Rhodes Scholar. Mike Lanise.
Now double tight ends here, Taggart and the freshman Alex Higdon out of Cincinnati. One of the touted freshmen here at Ohio State. Here is Byers. Squeezed through for a couple of yards. Did you see how intelligent he ran that time? Waiting for the hole to develop, not trying to rush past his blockers in the line, just getting in behind the big beef and burrowing for a couple of yards. Now it's going to be 2nd and goal. They're down at the 2-yard line.
One of the reasons he's got 1,554 yards and 19 touchdowns rushing. Watch him make it 20 on this drive.
Fullbacks also in it. Here comes Byers up the middle, and he's met head on, and he gets down to the 1-yard line that time.
That was power there because that was well defensed. You can see, watch from the end here, number 41, Keith Byers coming right at you. It's well defensed right there, and he just drives right through him and goes right to the goal line.
Now Byers can go over the top. We have seen him do that frequently this season. Most recently 3 weeks ago against Wisconsin. The problem is with an injured ankle, he can't get the spring and get up in the air. Now we'll see if they go to that play down here on 3rd and goal or elect to run something else. Here he comes. He got into the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State. He was across the goal line by the time he fumbled the ball. He had the touchdown, and the Buckeyes strike first. This is something that Michigan must be concerned about. If they fall behind by a couple of touchdowns, this could be a long afternoon. Bo Schembechler does not have firepower on offense like he has had in the last decade and a half. It is 7-0. Spangler has added the extra point.
Take another look at this. Was well blocked. There's a big hole. This time he doesn't have to work quite as hard to get this ball in the end zone. Watch the hole right there. Beautiful. Oh, and you can see the ball was stripped, but he was past the goal line, and it didn't make any difference whether he got it or not in there. And we'll be back right after this message. I think so. Watch number 57 right here. Tim Anderson will come in here. He'll be deflected by a block from the backside guard. He reaches in and grabs Byers' arm. But right there you see that I think he is past the line. He has crossed that goal line, and it's no consequence. That thing's in there. I don't think there's any question about it in my mind as I look at it again.
There's a reminder tomorrow here on CBS. Of course, the NFL Today starts it off. How about the Cardinals and the Giants? The loser could be out of playoff contention in that one. And of course, Dallas takes on Buffalo. And also, you'll see these games, so check the local listing game in your area. Ohio State strikes first in this battle for the Rose Bowl. They lead Michigan 7-0. And that is the freshman Jamie Morris. From the goal line, he's coming out for Michigan. Spectacular return, actually. Fielding is back in the end zone. Boston College and Syracuse. Doug Flutie, how's he doing? Let's go to Pat O'Brien.
Well, Brent will tell you, after a 12-play, 84-yard drive, Flutie hands off to Steve Strahan, who carries it up and over the Orangemen, and BC leads Syracuse 7-0. Let's go back to Brent.
All right, Pat, and of course, Boston College right now, they are the apple of the bowl. Both the Sugar and the Cotton Bowl are interested in Doug Flutie and Boston College, and should they win today, they might find themselves in the enviable position of having to make a choice between those two. Zurbrugg in Michigan will attempt to do something about that statistic right now. Here is Morris. Got up to about the 27-yard line.
The ball carrier.
Ohio State is a little more aggressive on defense than we have seen them. They're playing with a lot of emotion. This has been a defensive unit that teams have moved against as the wave takes over here in Columbus.
Brian, Michigan hasn't had the ball very much, only 1.37, minute and a half, a little over a minute and a half. But they'll start moving the ball here.
Zurbrugg off the fake, rolls around to the left, and he's going to keep it. Gets a first down for the Wolverines. Pepper Johnson.
Good fake by Zurbrugg that time. Ohio State wasn't sure where the ball was. He had open receivers, but he elected to run the ball. You'll see here from the end zone, he has open receivers. I think Sim Nelson, number 95, is crossing. He fakes the ball to Jamie Morris. You can see he's fooled the defensive end. He rolls out. You see right there Sim Nelson wanting the ball, number 95. Zurbrugg decides to keep the ball, does pick up the first down.
Ball out near the 35-yard line. 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go here in the opening quarter in Columbus. Zurbrugg to throw to his tight end, and Nelson has it at the 42. And Notre Dame against Penn State. And Pat, how are the Irish making out?
Brent Arrow like this one. Notre Dame drove 77 yards in 17 plays. Then they left it up to Alan Pinkett for the first score of this contest as the Fighting Irish leads the Nittany Lions 7-0. Back to Brent and Arrow.
Good. Arrow, what do you think? Will the Irish go to a bowl if they beat Penn State?
I think if they beat Penn State, I think they're going to look at it right after that Southern Cal game. It's a good start for them.
Second down and short now for Zurbrugg and the Wolverines. They trail it by 7. Goes to Garrett, the fullback, and he'll be stopped short. And again, I am impressed with how aggressive the front is. Dave Morrow, 57, has been in. Giuliani has been in. Eric Camero, number 14. Byron Lee, 82. The outside linebackers closing down.
Brett, in the last 2 ball games, that defensive unit right there against Northwestern and Indiana only gave up about 150 yards a game, just a little over 300 yards in those 2 games. So they have played well in those contests.
Man to watch, of course, is 98. That's Pepper Johnson. He's the ringleader out there, one of the inside linebackers. Third down for the Wolverines. Here comes Morris. He gets the first down. And just barely.
Yeah, just on the line there. He had to go to 45, and he made it.
So Michigan puts together 2 first downs in this drive, but it has not been easy for them.
They're making them go the hard way. I'm still waiting for Zurbrugg to run that option to see how Ohio State handles it, because you know you're going to see it. Blordis right there, the center for Michigan, is one of the better offensive linemen that they have in the offensive line for the Wolverines.
Bo has substituted for one of his tight ends, and Bean is back in, and they put him in a slot on the left. Markray in motion behind Zurbrugg. He'll fake to the fullback. Zurbrugg down the line. There's the pitch to Morris. And he is met. Did not fool the Buckeye defense. Byron Lee, 82.
Well, we were waiting to see it. We saw exactly what Ohio State did. A beautiful job of containing this. Watch number 82, the left outside linebacker. They fake to the fullback. It's the delay option. Zurbrugg deals the ball off to Jamie Morris. Number 82, right here, the outside backer, Byron Lee, comes up and makes a great play and stops him for maybe a half a yard. Nice job.
Here's an Ohio State team with a third chance to get to the Rose Bowl. Thought they might have been out of it after losing to Purdue. Then they were upset by Wisconsin, and Iowa had the upper hand. Iowa loses to Michigan State, and here's the third chance for the Buckeyes. Zurbrugg back to pass for the Wolverines. He's got Bean open, and he hit him inside the 30-yard line. Sonny Gordon, the rover back, was back there, but Bean was open, and that was a well-delivered pass.
Oh, great play. A fake run action away. Here's Bean coming down the field and gets into the seam between the defenders, but Zurbrugg had faked away. Now watch him throw the ball right in there. Great throw, as you see. Number 7, Sonny Gordon, could have been called for interference, but Bean hung onto the football.
27-yard gain, too. Era has the ball now down at the 28-yard line. So by far the most impressive offensive performance of this game by the Wolverines. Zurbrugg has Michigan on the move. Here is Morris battling close to the 25-yard line, and again he has replaced the injured Rick Rogers this afternoon. Larry Kollick, 33, the linebacker, in there to help on the stop.
The backfield action didn't look very smooth that time. Looked like someone might have gone the wrong way. They were trying to run a little counter. You see from ground level here, you see the contact between Zurbrugg and Jamie Morris. It just wasn't smooth. Something was wrong that time, even though they did pick up a yard or two.
Leaving the arrow with about a 2nd and 8. That's the time remaining in the first quarter. Bean back and throws it complete out of bounds at the 18-yard line, and that is Yakish, 84, the basketball player.
Now he's about 6'8", but I thought that was a dangerous throw for Zurbrugg to throw from the position that he was. The reward wasn't that great. They only made a few yards. Watch here. He comes back there and trips to the left, comes to the pocket. Bean is crossing across the middle. He throws the ball. He does throw the ball well, but look how far and what would happen if he had an interception at this stage. Jokic does make a great play, and White makes the tackle right there.
Jokic is some target. 6'8", 240 pounds. He's a junior out of Clarkston, Michigan. Now third down for the Wolverines, and an important one. They might have to call on Bergeron to kick a field goal if they don't pick up the first down here. Zurbrugg will keep it himself. Run out of bounds, and it's going to be very close. Kummerow was over there on the coverage. He was getting to the corner, has the first down for Michigan, keeps the drive going.
Interesting call. Quarterback draw on that third down at about 3 or 4. You'll see here, there was no question in his mind that he was going to run it. Zurbrugg comes back, tries to draw the defenders, finds the daylight to the outside as they're playing man-to-man underneath, and he runs for the corner here. He fumbles the ball right there, but fortunately for Michigan, it goes out of bounds, and it is a first down. Come on, you ought to be more excited than that, Bo.
That's going to be the end of the first quarter, and we will return after this commercial break and a word from your local stations. They have the ball now, 1st and 10 at the Ohio State 17-yard line. This is Morris. Gets to the 14-yard line.
He was very fortunate to get yardage because that really was well defensed. Jamie did a good job of running on it. There was a lot of penetration on the part of Ohio State.
And of course, near the conclusion of the game, Era and I are going to select a Chevrolet, most valuable player of this game from each of the teams. Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. 2nd down with the ball at the Ohio State 14-yard line. Split backs this time. Perriman is in at fullback. Zurbrugg drops it over the middle, complete to Nelson, his tight end. And Nelson The big fella just battles his way down to the 5-yard line. That's a first down for Michigan.
Brent, I've got to say that Zurbrugg really showed a lot of poise on that play. He was getting a lot of heat from the defensive right side, and he just stayed right in there and delivered that ball to Nelson. Watch here on the right side of the defense. Watch the penetration they get and the heat they put on Zurbrugg right there. But he does get rid of the football. Nelson makes a good catch because it is low, and they're down to the, what is it, just outside the 5-yard line. Good play by Zurbrugg.
Eric says he's playing so well here. Let's see what he comes up with at the 5-yard line with a first and goal. From the eye, they'll come Morse around the right side, and Collick, number 33, was all over it. He read the play beautifully, and Morris didn't have a chance. They didn't get a blocker on Collick and move him a bit.
Michigan may have been surprised by the fact that Ohio State went into a goal line defense and got a lot of penetration. Watch right here from ground level. You see Collick come in. There's Jamie Morris, just a freshman, their leading ball carrier. But there's number 33. Larry Collick comes in and gets help from, who was that number? That was Dave Morrill, number 57.
And Rogan, he took the blocker away, and then Collick got the job done. This could be a passing situation. Intercepted in the end zone by Sonny Gordon, number 7. Zurbrugg trying to force the ball that time.
He was flushed out of the pocket by Eric Kumro. Watch here. He fakes the ball. Then he rolls out. You see 14 flushes him out. He tries to drill the ball here to Caddis. There's Gordon right there. Catches the ball. And it looked to me like his left foot stepped on that line. Looked to me as if he was out of bounds on that play. Could be a very pivotal call.
And the Buckeyes have it, first down, coming out on their own 20-yard line. They lead Michigan 7-0. Tomczak splits his back. And here's Byers. Up to the 23, and Tim Anderson, inside linebacker, with the stop for the Wolverines.
Number 57, Tim Anderson.
So, let's go back and check in again on Syracuse and Boston College.
Brent, no, we have Navy and South Carolina, and Navy makes it look easy as Mike Smith goes untouched, and the midshipmen are on the board. 7-0 over number 2 South Carolina. We'll get to BC later. Back to you, Brent.
All right, that's even better than the Syracuse-Boston College update to get that one. Oh, Joe Morrison and the Gamecocks will have to come back. They could be headed for an Orange Bowl. Tomczak comes back now for Ohio State and hits the freshman Chris Carter. First down. What a pair of hands that young man has.
Brent, both the passer and the receiver were under pressure that time. Great execution. Tomczak's having a great day. He was getting heat. Here's Chris Carter here. Just drives up the field. He's getting a lot of pressure from Garland Rivers, number 13, right there. He breaks to the outside. We don't see Tomczak here, but he too was under heat. They finally get him down, but not after a great gain. Number 8 comes in there, who's Doug Mallory.
Tomczak, 5 of 8 for 70 yards. Chris Carter, he is the brother of Butch of the New York Knicks. Like his brother, he too was an outstanding high school basketball player. There's a mishap on the snap. Tomczak goes down after the ball, and Aaron, in the Wisconsin game, we were told by the coaches that the loss of Kirk Loudermilk, who suffered a broken leg, really affected the Buckeyes, not only on the field, but their morale on the sidelines.
Exactly. He is really the team leader, the glue that holds that offensive line together. And, of course, the loss really depressed the entire team. I didn't realize that until we talked to Glenn Mason yesterday, the offensive coordinator. But he was a very pivotal guy. But they've moved Bob Maggs in there, and he's doing a good job.
2nd and 10. Tomczak with time. Pressure from the rear, and he is brought down. Brooks was able to circle back on him, and Kevin brought him hard to the turf.
He's having plenty of time to throw the ball. That time, of course, Michigan had most of the receivers covered. Tomczak elected to run football, but he was pursued by Kevin Brooks, who finally brought him down. It was not like a sack, though.
Now the Buckeyes face a 3rd and 10. Tomczak has thrown the ball extremely well in this game so far. And one of the receivers you have to always keep an eye on for the Buckeyes is Keith Byers out of the backfield. The pitch this time is to Byers on the option, and that won't get him close to a first down. Tupa will have to come on now and punt for Ohio State. Mike Mallory was in there leading the defense.
On the play by Mike.
Well, they blitz from the corner. Watch here. Tomczak's trying to run the option play. Watch the penetration right here. He's forced. He doesn't want to throw it to Byers. Then he throws it out here. Very dangerous. Byers makes a great catch of that football. That could have been a fumble.
I think I'd have been inclined to have Tomczak throw the ball in that situation as well as he's been performing so far here. Giovanni Johnson at the 16. Down there at the 20-yard line where Michigan will have it. Johnson appears to be shaken up over there on the track. We'll be right back. Wolverines trail by 7. And then keep in mind next week. Now this is Friday afternoon, the day after Thanksgiving, 2:30 Eastern time on CBS. It is Boston College and Doug Flutie against Bernie Kosar and Miami. Then the following day on Saturday afternoon, an era has told you that if Notre Dame could beat Penn State, their bowl hopes could very well ride on this game against USC, and that one will be brought to you at 3:30 Eastern time on CBS. The Fighting Irish against the Trojans, that is another one of those great rivalries. Right here it is Michigan trailing Ohio State by a touchdown. The Buckeyes win. They go to Pasadena in the Rose Bowl. 1st and 10, and the Wolverines turnover cost them almost 75 yards in field. They'll have to move back down now against that Buckeye defense. Speaking of the Irish, how they making out against Penn State? Let's go back to Pat.
All right, Brent, Penn State took advantage of a pass interference penalty. Now Tony Mumford powers his way through the Irish, and Joe Paterno is cheering those Lions as he ties the game up 7-7. Back to you, Brent.
Oh, that's a good one going there. So we'll keep you up to date with that. Also, South Carolina has fallen behind. Doug Flutie has Boston College on the board against Syracuse. All that unfolding here this afternoon. 2nd down now for Zurbrugg and the Wolverines. Takes to his fullback, brings the option down the line, and he keeps it. Gets out to about the 27-yard line, and Larry Collett, number 33, a linebacker who's been all over the field, was in on that stop.
Zurbrugg was fortunate to pick up that kind of yardage. That was well defense, and Zurbrugg cut it inside, avoided a tackler, and got positive yardage on it. Looked like he was going to be nailed right at the line of scrimmage.
Collett is only a junior, 6'1", 242. He's out of Smithville, Ohio, and a lot of game stars on that helmet.
Let's see how Ohio State deploys on this short yardage situation. They're playing standard.
2 tight ends for Michigan. And Zurbrug's going to put it up. And he will not get it off. The Buckeyes were not fooled. Chris Silius, number 97, led the defense. And the Wolverines will be forced to punt.
Brent, that was a mistake somewhere along the line because Zurbrugg rolled back out after the fake. There were no receivers out. He was the opposite side of all the receivers. It appeared it was going to be a run. Watch here. There's no receivers for him to throw the football to. He goes rolling out to the right. There's nothing here. No chance. There must have been a mistake on the part of the call or the pivot by Zurbrugg.
So Robbins back to punt. Mike Lenise is the deep man. Again, the Buckeyes have come away with favorable field position here in the first half. This time, Lenise does come up with a fair catch. Juggles it momentarily. Pulls it down at the Ohio State 48-yard line. 34-yard punt. 7:42 left in the first half. Ohio State leading. And these two bands, Ohio State and Michigan, what a show they put on. Now, while you were away, Bo Schembechler, in no uncertain terms, told his quarterback, Chris Zurbrugg, that he had messed that play up.
There's no question about it. There was an error made on the part of Michigan. It looked like Zurbrugg.
Tomczak back to pass on 1st down. Drops it off in the flat and overthrows Byers.
Like Tomczak's pass intended for Keith Byers.
They'll do it occasionally, but they try to play a very standard defense, zone off, and try to get 4 men to the ball.
On 2nd down, Byers has hit the ball as loose, recovered by Tomczak, I believe, who dove back on it. What a hit Byers took. Garland Rivers coming up from the corner, jarred the ball loose. Tomczak on the ball at the 40-yard line.
And now that they know that they're going to run the option play, they're really coming. Watch him come hard. Garland Ribbons, number 13, comes smashing in here and takes Byers before he has a chance to field the ball. Fortunately for Tomczak, he gets on top of that fumble. Otherwise, it would have been a big turnover.
What a blow Rivers delivered on Byers that time. Third down and 19 yards to go. Tomczak under pressure that time. Flips it over to Byers, an ad-lib play. And Keith comes across to the 48-yard line. Brad Cochran, they're on the coverage.
That was beautiful improvising on the part of Tomczak. It looks like he's going to be sacked. Watch here from ground level. Great piece of work. He rolls back, looking for someone to throw the ball to. Finally flushed out to the right and kind of just gives a little pop pass out there to Byers. Byers finds plenty of open daylight, but not enough for the first down.
We should tell Mike that's not so great. Flutie gets a touchdown out of that play.
Yeah, he throws a little farther. His shot puts it a little farther.
What did he do? He got North Carolina? He did that earlier. Sure, he was coming around. All right. Tupa is back to punt for Ohio State. And he is a good one. Could be a quarterback here at Ohio State, too, before his career is over. Look at him hang that ball high, going for the corner, and he's got it out of bounds.
At the 13-yard line, looks like.
Inside the 15-yard line, the freshman Tom Tupa puts the Wolverines back in a hole again. Merrill, 31-0 it was.
31-0 at halftime. You walk in the locker room and have any idea you're going to lose the game?
Well, here it's Michigan trying to come out now, and Rick Rogers and Eddie Garrett have checked in. So they're going to try Rogers. And this is Garrett, and he gets no place against the middle of that Buckeye defense. Yeah, South Carolina was behind by 7. Let's go back to Pat and see how they're doing.
Not anymore, Brent. South Carolina quarterback Allen Mitchell capped an 80-yard drive with this 2-yard keeper, and the Gamecocks have it tied up now 7-7 in Annapolis. Let's go back to Brent.
No, South Carolina wins this, and Nebraska beats Oklahoma later today. That could be your Orange Bowl matchup right there. They could wind up playing for a national title down in Miami. Second down now for the Wolverines. Zurbrugg fakes Rogers, sends him out as a pass receiver, comes over to him at the 15-yard line, and Pollock is there on the coverage and held him short of the first down.
Zurbrugg's pass is complete to Rick Rogers.
It's kind of dangerous stuff down here in your own territory. Zurbrugg comes back, fakes the ball to Rogers, and you see Kolek, number 33, coming in and reacting well to the ball as it's thrown. He picks up about 5 yards on the play.
Pollock is playing a whale of a game. 3rd and 4. And this, of course, an important call with 5:24 to go here in the half for Michigan. They would like one more first down at least. You have to punt in this situation. Zurbrug's back to throw it. And he's got Hartray for the first down.
I'm going to tell you something, Brent. Zurbrugg really hummed that ball. That's as good a ball as I've seen thrown by Chris Zurbrugg. He got it there quickly, and a well-thrown ball. Watch this as we see it here. Watch this. He really shows some class here. He rolls out to the left, starts to get pressure right there from Pepper Johnson, and that ball gets there very quickly. Good job there.
William White over on the coverage for the Buckeyes. Michigan offensive line. Not the overpowering offensive line that Schembechler has featured much of the last decade and a half. Ball is at the 28 on the first down, and here comes Rogers from scrimmage, gets out across the 30-yard line.
One thing that Michigan has not been able to establish on the inside, particularly on first down plays, is any kind of running attack. They're only averaging 2.5, and they've only thrown the ball once on a first down situation. Rogers got a bad knee. I don't know. Bo was worried about how much he could play. He's had an awful lot of injuries during the course of the year, countless numbers.
Is that one of the most familiar helmets in football? Goes back to the days when they wore the leather helmets, and that was how the straps were put on, and they just evolved into the modern headgear that they now wear. Here's the pitch to Rogers, following Garrett. get out close to the 35-yard line. We've got another update on the Irish in Penn State. Let's go back to Pat.
Brent, Alan Pinkett's having a great day today. Here's a 17-yard run up the middle after an 80-yard drive. And the Fighting Irish lead 14-7, and I think Arrow would agree. Jerry Faust would like to have a win at home, Brent.
He sure would, I'll tell you that. He'd like to have a win next week against USC, the game you'll see here on CBS, too.
Looks like they're off to a good start, though, in that game.
But don't sell Joe Paterno short.
Right.
Here's third down. Paul Jokic, 84. And big wide receiver has checked in for Zurbrugg. He's got time, and he hits Jokic right there. Out of bounds at the 40-yard line. First down for Michigan.
Another good throw by Zurbrugg. Coverage was good, but he got it in there. There's 6'8" Jokic. You see Zurbrugg just goes into the pocket. And watch him get that ball there quickly. Jokic has to drive down to the outside to make the catch, and he does for the first down.
What a target he is at 6'8". We've mentioned that earlier in this broadcast, but that makes all the difference in the world for quarterbacks if they can see the receivers.
Ohio State's making them go the hard way. They're not giving them any long plays. The coverage has been good.
Time running out in the first half. Ohio State with the only touchdown. A win here, and they go to Pasadena to play USC. Zurbrugg to put it up. Has plenty of time. Down the sidelines, underthrows, and almost intercepted by Terry White, number 12. I think Terry should have had it.
Well, it looked very close. Let's take another look at it here. Just a run action pass, their favorite tailback action. Here's Bean coming right down the line. Greg Rogan, number 29 on the coverage. He gets to the outside, right there, and he drops the ball. I don't know whether his foot would have been on the line or not. Hard to tell. Number 12 there, Terry White. Zurbrugg is now 7 for 10 for 72 yards and 1 interception. Could have been 2 there.
And a big interception it was. They had the ball down at the 5-yard line, and after a second down, and that time you can see he underthrew Bean.
And he would have been in bounds. His right foot is inside the line.
Now we've got a whistle, and Michigan came up to the line of scrimmage. One of the things I've noticed through the years, Era, about the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry, we have very few penalties. We'll be right back in Chicago Bears. The Bears are without Jim McMahon, and they have trouble winning without McMahon at quarterback, although Steve Fuller played well last week against the Rams. Now, speaking of the Rams, they will be taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are red hot right now, and if the Bears stumble, the Packers still have a chance to overhaul them. And then on Thanksgiving, you'll see those Packers against the troubled Detroit Lions. And that is at 12 noon Eastern time. Here is Chris Zurbrugg. With Jamie Morris back at his tailback, Zurbrugg runs the option down the line and goes to Morris, and he is brought down at the 40-yard line, and Lee, number 82, is right there. So far in this game, Collick has 8 tackles, Morrill has 7 tackles.
And Ohio State also has been managed to handle that option play beautifully. Byron Lee, number 82 right there that you see in the screen, has done a great job on it. He's the outside linebacker. He's from Columbus, Ohio. He's 6'3", 230, and a junior, and he is distinguishing himself on the option.
State of Ohio, one of the great football states in the United States. I guess Ohio, Texas, Pennsylvania, Florida, and California probably turn out more players than any other states. And Ohio finishes second to nowhere. Zurbrugg incomplete. Jokic down at the 45-yard line was the intended target. Not a well-thrown ball. And the Wolverines will have to out here with 2:33 remaining in the first half, and Ohio State leading 7-0.
Got a lot of pressure that time, Zurbrugg did, from Dave Morrill.
Team up north plays the team down south. Robbins now to come up. Rams is back. And Nice fields it about the 13-yard line. Found a little daylight and got out to the 20. Tom Jack and the guys with 22 to work with here.
Didn't have dust.
On the field, and that's swing to the outside. That's 6 yards. Before Brooks brought him down from behind with a jarring back.
Woolridge, the number 2 tailback on the Ohio State team, had more yardage than the leading ball on the close to this Ohio State offensive team.
2nd and 4. Woolridge has averaged 5 yards a pop. Byers is the tailback. This is Byers for the first down. Jim Scarcella Scarcelli there to meet him.
I think it's just short. It's very close.
Tackled by
Third down.
Mallory.
You're right, it is short.
Just short.
Tim Anderson. Timeout, Ohio.
Let's take a look at these two great universities. Well, we're doing a good job against him. Now this is third ball up to 30, and here he comes. And oh, this hit puts no first. Now Iowa State will have to punt.
And they probably should take a timeout
Tackled
right
by
now.
Tim Anderson and Jim Scarcelli.
Anderson and Scarcelli were all over it.
They really did a great job. Myers has no chance. Watch the penetration by the Michigan team right here. There's number 42, Mallory. And he's getting help from Anderson. And then here comes Scarcelli, 85. Great piece of defensive work. And they have stopped the clock, forced the punt. They got 10 of them.
Trooper will take the snap at the 15-yard line. Now they drop off. Gets the punt off. Johnson fields it at the 32. Gets up to the 32-yard line. So the Wolverines have minute 7 to work with.
Wide open again. What chances want to take with Zerba?
Bean comes. Mark Ray goes to the left. Morris comes out of the backfield, and they'll use him as a safety valve. He turned around and fumbled the pass that he should have held on to. So it'll be 2nd and 10. He is the younger Joe Morris of the New York Giants. One of the teams you'll see tomorrow on CBS. They take on the St. Louis.
He had a screen out here. They were trying to screen. They had two linemen out in front of him here. He looked up some yardage. Unfortunately, you got to catch the ball first before you can run with it.
Bergeron staying loose on the sideline for the Wolverines, just in case, holding the tee, of course, which is legal in college football and not in the pros when you attempt a field goal. Zerba off the fake. Roy ran the draw beautifully with Morris. I should have listened to you. You called it better than I did.
Morris, the ball carrier.
Well, you see now the clock is running on him. He's got third down. He need the first down.
Down toward 4 seconds.
He's audibleizing right at the line.
Right down the middle, incomplete.
Great play by Greg Rogan. He knocked that ball away right at the last second there, Frank. Number 29, Greg Rogan comes over. Watch here from the end zone. They fake to the inside here. Zerbrugg is back, trying to throw the ball down the seam. Now watch Rogan come from your screen. There, ball away from his hands. Nelson thought he had it.
Sure did. The big tight end was wide open. And now it'll be Michigan punting with 29 seconds to go. Lanise goes back. Robbins standing on the Michigan 29-yard line. 10 men on the line for the Buckeyes, but they drop off. Lanise at the 12, hit right there. Loose ball, fumble. Michigan's ball, 18 seconds, and the clock is stopped at 17, and an enormous break in this game. At 17 seconds, Lanise fumbles a punt. Michigan recovers, and they've got an opportunity.
You see how those turnovers affect you. Watch here as Lanise fields the ball. He has it secure. Bob Perryman comes in here and grabs him right there, shakes the ball loose. Number 37 there comes free, and Michigan recovers the ball. What a big turnover that is.
I'll tell you, one of the fellows who was on that pile was Pat Cochran. I don't think they're going to credit him with the recovery. He's had a sensational game. For 7 tackles for him defensively. He won one of the men down. He is right there.
17 seconds. 9 down. Let's see what they do.
Throw Jokic too far over the head and incomplete. Now
It was just 5-10.
Against Michigan. Ohio State turned an opportunity to game.
Before he can release this ball. Steve for 26 but no cause to throw. watch from Morris. Try to take that.
Board new all-time Ohio Stadium attendance record. 90,183 score up on their huge message board. A new all-time Ohio Stadium attendance record. 90,286, and they're watching a 7-3 score right now as the Wolverines come back on the field. The Buckeyes must either hold on, score a few more touchdowns and outscore Michigan, and they'll be headed for the Rose Bowl for a confrontation against the University. Was set back to punt it, and there was the block by mid. There, you see the fellow with the broom get out of the way. He'd been brushing off some of the snow. Folks, in that game, Vic Janowitz of Ohio State punted 21 times. Chuck Ortman of Michigan punted 24 times. That's 45 punts. Janowitz had 4 blocked. Ortman had 1 block. There was not a single first down in that game.
Well, you know, we play this game under all conditions, Brent.
So here come the Buckeyes now, who will kick it off, of course. That was Spangler getting ready. He'll send it down, and Jamie Morris, number 23, he'll be the deep man for Bo Schembechler's Wolverines. So a Rose Bowl is at stake here, and 30 minutes of action, and hold on, here we go. Imagine the whole state of Iowa is watching right now, too, because if the Wolverines can come back, the Hawkeyes can get to Pasadena if they beat Minnesota tonight. Morris is out, stopped short of the 10-yard line. The Buckeyes were all over that punt. There's Chris Spielman, number 36, another member of this outstanding freshman class. What a future he's got as a linebacker here.
That was not a very wise decision on the part of Jamie Morris. He was in the end zone. And on top of that, the ball had a lot of hang time on it, and the coverage was excellent by Ohio State. And look at the field position, not even outside the 10.
That Spielman came out of Massillon High School. They turn out all those kids. You realize his picture was on a Wheaties box already. I mean, that's doing it early.
Of course, he was injured most of the season. Got hurt in the Iowa game right here, and he was back for a half last week and again playing this week.
Chris Zerbrugge, he was erratic in the first half. Had some good moments and some he'd rather not have had. Brings the Wolverines up to the line of scrimmage. They'll run Morris right out of the eye, and he bangs out across the 15 to the 17-yard line.
Brent, on that play, they made 8 more yards, and they did the whole second quarter. Michigan carried the ball 12 times in the second quarter and had 0 yards. At least they got some yardage on that play.
And the defensive captain from Michigan made the tackle for Ohio State. That is Pepper Johnson, number 98. And the Wolverines have been staying away from him. Pollock has been forced to make many of the tackles. They come at Johnson again that time. Out to the 25-yard line. Larry Collick, number 33, again stepping over to help out on the stop.
At least they got the ball out of a very dangerous field position. They were back inside their 10-yard line. Now they got some breathing room out to the 24.
So Perryman, the fullback, picks up the first down. Nelson, the tight end, to Zerbrugge's left. They'll run Morris again. Up over the top fumble. Ohio State jumps down and appeared to have recovered. Let's see what the signal is from the officials.
He's calling it down, and it was down when he hit the ground. The ground cannot cause a fumble. That's the rule generally that you hear from, but it was very close. Let's take another look at it if we can see. You'll see right here, good level shot of it. You'll see Jamie Morris dive over the pile. It appears just as he hits the ground. Right there, yes, it was a ground-causing fumble. Good call by the officials.
He picked up about 3 yards. Rogers has replaced Morris at the tailback spot. Johnson goes in motion. They take it away from Perryman. Zerbrugge still has it. Gets to the 40-yard line. Rogan on the far side. In on the stop. Ball is out at the 40-yard line, and there was a penalty marker down on the play. Otto Kortz is the referee. Bo Schembechler awaiting their decision on this one. And a player is injured on the far sideline.
I didn't see the signal there.
Schembechler is furious.
He's on the field. They could call it. He's in dangerous territory.
What do you think Woody Hayes is thinking up here in the press box as he watches that?
He likes it. At least he likes Bo's energy in it. Let's see what the call was.
Giovanni Johnson was injured for the Wolverines.
Illegal shift. Offense.
Illegal shift.
They had Johnson in motion that time.
Michigan penalty, illegal motion.
I think that what he did, Coach, he might have stepped forward. Let's take a look at Johnson come in behind now.
So here he goes in motion. Everything looks okay. I don't know what. I can't see the call.
I think out of frame, it's possible that he cut up field. I think he thought maybe he was playing for the Rough Riders or somebody up in Canada.
But he called illegal shift.
But I think he meant illegal motion. We'll have to ask Otto about that afterwards.
Of the stadium.
It was the reverse pivot option play that he picked up 14 yards on. It was the first time that Ohio State has not handled the option, because they did a beautiful job in the first half. As a matter of fact, the Ohio State defense played exceptionally well in that first half. The secondary covered receivers well. The line played well.
This delay is because of the clock. Here's second down and 12 now for Zurbrugg. Jamie Morris close to a first down before he finally went out of bounds there, Errol.
Good. He got good protection. Zurbrugg got excellent protection that time, and that's why that play was successful. It gave Jamie Morris an opportunity to get open. Zurbrugg did hum the ball in there. Appears to be very close to a first down, but good execution on the part of Michigan.
Officials are leaving the ball on that far side to get it measured over there at the Michigan bench. Ball is out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Dave Brasilius was shaken up for Ohio State, and he has gone to the sideline. And yes, it is a first down for the Wolverines.
I guess he was shaken up in an automobile accident last week.
Now they get the clock at the left side of the stadium correct at 12:51, and that one on the right has gone dark. So here it is, first and 10 for the Wolverines. Zurbrugg keeps it, and now he pitches to Morris. And that was Eric Kummerow, 14, the linebacker who laid a lick on him. There's a Michigan player injured.
And Terry White. Timeout official.
Injury there.
They've had so many injuries they'd already lost their right guard, and they moved Hammerstein over to the left guard in place of Tabachino, and moved Sapowski in the right guard.
Zurbrugg to throw it on second down. He's got a man all alone, and it's Vince Bean out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
Michigan's coming out this second half, opening up the attack. Another factor, Brent, as you look across, you see the flags now. They're starting, the wind is picking up from the south, and there was no wind in the first half, and now the wind could be a factor in this game.
So that gives the Wolverines a first down near midfield with the big flag here in the horseshoe starting to flap, and Zurbrugg 9 of 16 for 95 yards. 12:14 to go in the third quarter. The Buckeyes leading the Wolverines 7-3. Ohio State goes to the Rose Bowl if they win. And that is White. Gerald White, number 22, with his first appearance in the game.
Tackled by Greg Rogan. Gain of 7 yards.
Okay, here's some offensive offensive line play, you see number 78 there, Mark Hammerstein, who came across and trapped. And of course, he replaced injured Bob Tabacino. And White reads off of that, picks up some yardage on the play. But this has been one of the shortcomings in the Michigan offense this year. They've had a tough time organizing that offensive line, a combination of injuries and other factors.
2nd and 4 with Johnson in motion. And this time it is Perriman straight ahead, close to a first down. Might be just a bit short.
Looks like it's close enough to measure, Brent.
Jared Tabacino, who was shaken up a moment ago, has returned to that offensive line. And of course, that had been one of the problems for Michigan this year, as you have pointed out several times here today.
Well, they lost James last week, their right guard, and it moved in Mark Hammerstein, and of course he had been injured also. He had some bruises. I'd say just a little short. You see there about a half a foot.
Pepper Johnson looking over to the sideline to get the defensive signal from the Buckeyes. Perriman, 37, is the fullback. They run White off the left tackle spot for the first down. He got to the 40-yard line.
White was the ball carrier.
Byron Lee, 82, the linebacker, in on that stop for the Buckeyes. Update on Florida. The school, of course, awaiting the decision of the Southeastern Conference as to whether or not they might be able to go to the Sugar Bowl. Syracuse leading Boston College, and if that held up, that could throw the bowl picture completely up in the air. An impressive performance by Notre Dame in South Bend this afternoon against Penn State. There's the oldest rivalry. We think this one's old, at 81 years. How about that one? Now it's first down. And again, it is White banging inside the 35-yard line. And Chris Spielman, the freshman linebacker, who is now out there for Earl Bruce, helping out on the stop.
That's the 11th play on this drive. And you can see that Ohio State is at least making them go the hard way.
I've always felt that the longer you can make a team drive, the more often you are to come up with a turnover of some kind. The percentages there starts to work against you in a long, long drive like this. 2nd and 4. White again. Good run. Inside the 25-yard line, and Schembechler may have found a running back, Gerald White.
Well, the other thing, too, is that he is keeping the ball away from Tomczak and Byers and their brick receivers, Chris Carter and Lanise, and that's the way to beat Ohio State, is you keep the ball yourself. Byers is over on the bench. As long as he can bleed time off of that clock, the percentages go to the underdog, which is Michigan, of course.
Wisconsin eyeing a bowl bid, leading Michigan State in the second quarter. North Carolina State ahead of Duke. Gerald White, if you are wondering, is from Titusville, Florida. He is 6'1", 205 pounds. First down, here comes White again. Broke a tackle, got inside the 20, and this man has come to play a game here in Columbus this afternoon. Camaro makes the hit for the Buckeyes.
Well, they found a little soft spot over the defensive left side. They've been going over the right side here. Let's take a look from the end zone here. There's good, well, there's a missed tackle right there. Otherwise, it had no gain. Number 57 there, which is Dave Morrill, missed the tackle.
Also, Era Perriman was very concerned. That's the lead fullback on picking up Pollock, the linebacker, who was so active in the first half. They did an excellent job of sealing Pollock out so he could not get over to that side. 2nd down. And now flags go down. Ohio State claiming that they were pulled offside. Zurbrugg and some of the Wolverines perhaps insisting that the noise was too much. Schembechler again upset over on the far side.
Zurbrugg should have asked for Zurbrugg should have asked for a discretionary timeout. He had problems, and you can see Bo is really upset. You think he's fired up?
False start.
only the 4th penalty in this game.
You know, Era, I'm not so sure that Zurbrugg wasn't asking for the discretionary timeout. He turned around, and I wondered at the time what he was doing. And he may have been complaining right there, and that is what Bo's beef is.
Nevertheless, it's 5 yards.
Off the fake to White. Zurbrugg hits his tight end drop inside the 5-yard line. Nelson. And Terry White, number 12, was there on the coverage. Hey, let's find out about Notre Dame and Penn State.
Brent, you gave the score of that game. The story has been Alan Pinkett, 26 carries, 148 yards. This is his 4th touchdown of the game, and the Irish lead the Nittany Lions 31-7. They're at the half. Back to you, Brent.
All right, that one not much of a contest anymore. Michigan now comes up to the line of scrimmage. It is 3rd down and 9 yards to go. The ball is on the Ohio State 25. The Wolverines trail the Buckeyes 7-3. Zurbrugg on an inside handoff, trying to get some misdirection to get Gerald White around, and nothing was going. The Buckeyes were all over it.
Tried that little shovel pass on the inside. They tried to catch him, but Darrell Lee back in there again. He's played a great ball game. Watch him. He'll try to shovel it to Gerald White, number 22, right there. But it's well played beautifully by Ohio State. Did not fool them, and now they're confronted with a field goal situation.
And as White came around, he tripped over Tabachino, his own lineman, in that sequence. And here's Bergeron. This, of course, the 45-yard attempt. He is 1 for 1 here this afternoon. Long enough, and it's good. Bergeron has just pulled Michigan to within 1 point. It's 7-6, 7:55 in the 3rd. He read the riot act to referee Otho Kortz about not giving his quarterback a discretionary timeout. It has now been confirmed by those who are watching Zurbrugg that he did ask for it, and Kortz didn't give it to him. Does he have to, Era?
No, he doesn't. But Zurbrugg should have turned and walked back to him and asked him for a discretionary timeout. He just turned back to him, and the official said, go ahead and play. And Bo is really complaining because it did stop a drive. It was a very, very important 5-yard penalty.
All right, now let's reset the scene for you in case you have not watched the entire game. Ohio State came out and opened things up in the first quarter. They were much more pass-oriented than we expected. They got the first touchdown. It was a run by Keith Byers. He fumbled going in after he had broken the plane. Ohio State dominated. But then Michigan went on a drive and had a pass intercepted in the end zone. It appeared as though the score was going to be 7-0 at the end of the half. Mike Lanise, unfortunately, didn't fair catch or let a punt roll into the end zone, and after the fumble, Michigan kicked a field goal. Now they have just kicked their 2nd field goal to pull within a point, and on this kickoff, bounces out of the end zone. Ohio State will put it in play on the 20-yard line, and the Buckeyes are finally getting the ball here in the second half.
Yeah, but not until 7:05 was run off the clock by Michigan, a 15-play drive that netted 62 yards, and how important that penalty was, because it did blunt that drive. They had to settle for a field goal.
Ken Blair, 46, comes out with Tomczak. He'll be the fullback set in there. Taggart, 80, is the tight end. They have a couple of fellows in that offensive line who could go as top draft choices in the NFL. This, of course, is the junior runner, Byers. He breaks a tackle. He gets out to the 28-yard line. Mike Mallory finally brings it down. We should say a well-rested Keith Byers.
Not only that, he made more yardage on that play than he did in the entire second quarter. He carried the ball 6 times in the second quarter for 8 yards. He made, I think, 8 on the first crack in this first time he has an opportunity in the second half.
There, the pressure is on this Ohio State offense right now.
No question about it. They've got to move the football.
This is 2nd and 2. Here comes Byers again, squeezing out to the 30, which would be a first down. 7:19 to go in the 3rd. South Carolina and Navy. Big upset brewing in that one. So let's go back to Pat.
That's right, Brent. Now watch here. The cameraman gets fooled, and so does South Carolina on a trap play. Rich Klaus takes it in, 53-yard run, and the midshipmen are sinking the Gamecocks' Orange Bowl hopes. Back to you, Brent.
Major who can figure out this season. We come back with Tomczak throwing the ball over the middle, complete to his tight end Taggart, and Taggart squeezes out another first down. 2 first downs quickly, and Tim Anderson, 57, the linebacker, on the hit for the Wolverines along with Rodney Lyles.
Tackle the play by Tim Anderson and Rodney Lyles. Gain of 11 yards.
On that 11-yard gain, the ball is out at the 41. Blair checks back in. He had been replaced by Walker. This is Byers out to the 47-yard line.
Well, they've got that ball out of that dangerous territory. They started back at their own 20, and now they've moved it out to almost midfield, which is a good sign for the Buckeyes. Byers seems to be running with more power in the second half. You know, he had that ankle, which he got in that Wisconsin game, bruised it again a couple of weeks or last week, and now he looks like he's really forgotten about it and driving off of it.
2nd and 6 for Tomczak and the Buckeyes. Comes with the fullback, Walker, who gets to the 50. They'll still be short of the first down by about 1.5 yards. Rodney Lyles, one of the outside linebackers, 80, coming down to help out, make that initial hit.
This will be interesting right here on this play because it's 3rd down and about 1.5 yards, 2 yards. And what we want to watch is to see what kind of defensive deployment Michigan takes, whether or not they want to take a risk and come up and go into their goal line defense and force an issue here at midfield. They're coming into their standard defense.
Buckeyes need 2 for that first down. They sweep with Byers. He is cut off and he will not get it. Hammered out of bounds, and that was Cochran who came up to help out and finally get him out of bounds, number 30.
Scarselli, number 85, really forced the issue. Watch here, the outside backer on the left side, number 85. There's the pitch to Byers. He's flushed from the inside, and there's number 85, Scarselli, that forces him so deep. Then number 30, Cochran, comes up and knocks him out of bounds. A great defensive play on the part of the Michigan Wolverines.
And without much of a rest, that Ohio State defense is going to have to come back on the field here after this punt by Tupa. It is 4th and 7 after that loss. 5:38 to go in the 3rd. We've got a 1-point game, and we got a Rose Bowl hanging in the balance. Johnson at the 5-yard line for Michigan. Gets out to the 17-yard line. There appears to be a penalty flag down inside the 5-yard line. Buckeyes are signaling as though there might have been a clip down there against Michigan. We'll hold on here and see.
There it is. It was a 50-yard kick by Tupa. Watch where that ball winds up. The spot foul at the 4-yard line, or 3-yard line, the ball's moved to the 1.5 yards.
On the run back. First stop.
How do you like that field position? That was a big penalty there. They were out to the 18-yard line. Now they're back to the 1.5, and we'll be back right after this message.
Chris Zurbrugg, the quarterback, asked the referee for a discretionary timeout. He said he couldn't hear because of the crowd, but of course the referee did not give him the timeout. They took a penalty for delay of game. Schembechler was furious. Now another penalty against the Wolverines. A clip on this punt return, and it has the Wolves back on their own 1-yard line. They've gone to a double tight end. They'll just try to get a couple of first downs if they can. Running the fullback right straight ahead out to the 6-yard line. That'll give them a bit of breathing room as Perryman was the carrier.
Well, that was a big play there. They did get the ball outside the 5-yard line. As a matter of fact, it's out to the 6, I guess. Outside the 5, but that's a big movement of the ball because they really were in dangerous territory.
Schembechler sends in the play from the sideline. Marcray, a wide receiver, bringing it into Zurbrugg. 3 seconds to get it off. Off the play fake, they're going to throw from deep, and they do complete to the tight end Nelson. First down, big call. Out to the 18, Pepper Johnson, the linebacker, was over there.
That was a great call by Michigan. They faked the run action pass, held the defense well. Here here you see it right here. Now come in here and watch the fake the tailback action on the inside. Keep the ball. You see Nelson working away from Pepper Johnson, who was supposed to cover him right there, and he knocks him out of bounds, but not until he got the first down.
Do I remember a pass to a tight end of Notre Dame one night in the Sugar Bowl against Alabama?
Well, different situation.
No wonder you said it was a good call, right? First and 10 now at the 18 for Michigan. And they run right straight ahead with the tailback, Gerald White, who has come on here in the second half, and he has been very impressive. Remember, Rick Rogers slowed by an assortment of injuries. Jamie Morris, he carried the burden in the first half. And, of course, next we got more action for you. The Trojans of USC and the UCLA Bruins coming up. And if Ohio State wins, they would play USC on January 1st in the Rose Bowl. What happens if Ohio State should lose? Well, then Iowa controls the future, as you see.
Level. It's unbelievable. Anything can happen on any Saturday.
Pete Rozelle would die for parity like this. Second down now for the Wolverines. About 8 yards to go, and Zurbrugg will come up firing. Out of bounds. 4:09 to go, third period. Now he's got a 3rd and 8.
He just threw that one away.
Terry White,
Collick checks back in from the sideline for Earl Bruce.
Ohio State just hasn't had much opportunity in this third quarter. We're running it right at the 4-minute level, and they've only had 23 yards, and they'll have the ball just one time.
Big Paul Jokic is split to Zurbrug's right side. They've used him in these long situations. They're not looking for him this time. They'll throw underneath to Nelson. First down. Nelson comes out to the 39-yard line before he steps out of bounds on that far side. A gain of 19 yards and a first down and a big play for the Wolverines.
Boy, it really was. Nelson kind of delays right there, number 95 on your left side of your screen. Then slips under the zone coverage right there, wide open. Nobody on him. He gets a great block downfield by, I believe it was Paul Jokic. And he's driven out of the bounds finally by Terry White. Great play by Zurbrugg and Nelson with a little delay.
So now Zurbrugg 11 of 20 for 126 yards and that one costly interception. But he could be fueling still another Michigan drive here. Ball is out at the 39-yard line for Schembechler. Fake to White, and Zurbrugg did indeed hand it to him. And Dave Morrill, 57. And let's find out what's happening with Florida and Kentucky. Let's send you back to Pat.
All right, Brent. Kerwin Bell now, the Gators. Rolls out. He's looking for a receiver. Doesn't really have anybody, but Frankie Neal is there, makes a great catch, and it's now 19-10 in the fourth quarter. Back to Brent Nara.
Kalen Hall, he deserves to be the coach down there. You take over a situation like he did this year and come up with a performance. That team could have quit so fast, winding up on probation the way they did, lose Charlie Pell. What a job he's done.
Marvelous job.
Second down and 9. Zurbrugg off the fake, will throw it this time. Hard to decide, and Jokic. That is 6 foot 8 inches at target. He just hit him, and they're out there at about the 49-yard line. And there, you get the feeling that Schembechler and the Wolverines are doing it all right here this afternoon.
Well, they've opened up. They're willing to throw the football, and Zurbrug's having a somewhat inconsistent afternoon. There is one of his better throws to Jokic, right there almost to the first down marker.
We get word from the sideline, Darrell Lee, who you saw helped off a little bit there. He suffered his right shoulder, was injured on the play. So it's unlikely that he'll be back this afternoon. Now it is 3rd and short. Only 8 seconds to get this play off right now. 2 tight ends. This is White. Gets the first down. Inside the 40-yard line. He has been a very impressive runner here this afternoon.
He really has. They stopped Jamie Morris. They stopped Rogers, but White has come in here in this second half and done a great job. Pepper Rogers almost had him there for about a yard gain, but he lost him and went down the sideline for a big gain, 15-yard.
So they're going to take Byron Lee into the locker room, and there are a few injuries any more painful than those dislocated shoulders.
You know, interesting statistic already. Michigan has put the ball up 21 times, so don't say Bo doesn't throw it.
Like you said at the top of the broadcast, he could play this one wide open. Here's Perriman banging down to the 26. He had nothing to lose. close to still another first down for Michigan. And remember, should they stall down here, a third Bergeron field goal would at least put them ahead. Aaron, I've got to go back to the start of the game. I thought Ohio State was so impressive with the way they were mixing up plays, throwing the ball, using that freshman Chris Carter. They got a little too conservative, went back to just handing the ball off to Byers.
Well, what has happened in this, the momentum now is on Michigan's side. They're able to move the ball. Ohio State has only had the ball one time in this quarter. They made a couple first downs and then had to give it away. Blitz.
It's a first down at the 26. The Buckeyes are coming, and they nail him quickly. Terry White, you read it right.
Well, they had to take some chances to get that drive stopped, and that's the kind of play that you can either knock them down for no gain or they might pop one through there and look out, they go all the way. But that time that White got in there and got the job done.
Can you believe that one?
I just don't believe that. Unbelievable. 31-7, Navy over South Carolina.
And I read that Napoleon McCallum may come back and try to play against Army. Is that right?
That's what I saw. I read in the paper.
Second down for Zurbrugg on the pitch now to White. Coming around the left side, bangs inside the 20-yard line, and Sonny Gordon, the Rover, was in there on the tackle. Let's find out some more about that Navy-South Carolina game. Let's go back to New York and here's Pat.
Well, Brent, they didn't need Napoleon McCallum today. Bob Mish rolls to the right. He hits Chris Weiler, and it is now 31-7 over South Carolina. Back to you guys in Columbus.
Well, there's a case, Era, of a school saying we've got Clemson next week, talking Orange Bowl. I'm now mentioning South Carolina, and they simply took Navy too lightly.
Now you know how tough coaching is, Brent.
Third down here, and 3 yards to go for Michigan. Zurbrugg on the keeper. Will not get the first down. And again, Sonny Gordon, that Rover back, was in there to help out. He has been all over the field, number 7.
Here's another look at it. He's trying to run the option play down the line. He keeps the ball, steps inside, and there's number 7 up on the line of scrimmage, the strong safety, and he makes the tackle for, what did he get, about a yard or so on the play, I guess.
Here is Bergeron, a young man who is not under scholarship right now in Michigan. Bo explaining that situation to us there. He got him a good job in the offseason. He was a night watchman, and of course he's due to graduate around Christmas, and so he's been paying his own way to Michigan, and right now he could be the most valuable man in that school. No good. He misses. Ohio State holds on to its 1-point lead.
He was 12 for 14 going into that kick, and it looked like it was just wide to the right. Boy, he's shocked by it, too. Let's take another look. It looks like the ball just goes to the right of the right post. There's the look at it. It looks like it's going to be good, but it sails just outside. And Bergeron has missed a field goal that would have put Michigan ahead. And look at his, look, he's trying to do a little body English, and he knows it's to the right. Oh.
You know, Aaron, all right, Tom Zach here on first down, rolling to the right. He'll run it out of bounds. Picking up about 2 yards before he finally goes out. I was going to comment while we were looking at that replay. I was watching the Michigan sideline. Bo Schembechler walked right up to Bergeron and gave him a big hug. And the thing now with the kicker is not to have his confidence dimming as a result of that miss. They've still got the final quarter to go, and the way Michigan has been moving the ball into field goal range, it could come down to Bergeron again.
Brent, that's such a very important point, because he does not want, he wants to keep his confidence up.
Second down for the Buckeyes. Tomzak to throw it again. Over the middle, incomplete. First down to the tight end, Taggart.
Taggart made a nice catch. The ball was a little low. He was throwing hard enough to get in there before the defenders could react to it. But you can see that Ohio State is coming out throwing the football. That's 2 in a row.
That big scoreboard that they installed here in Columbus in the background. Chris Carter, their freshman receiver. And we've come to the end of the third quarter. Ohio State leading Michigan 7-6. We'll return in just a moment.
Ohio State 2 minutes and 49 seconds, and the yardage was 152 to 38. But there's only 3 points that Michigan got on the board.
Here's a 1st and 10 for the Buckeyes. They're out at their own 35-yard line, and they come straight ahead with Walker, the fullback, for a couple of yards. 7-6. Ohio State leading Michigan, and a win would put the Buckeyes in the Rose Bowl against USC. There are other bowls represented here today, by the way. The Cotton Bowl has someone watching these two teams. I suspect they might consider Ohio State if Michigan would upset the Buckeyes. The Fiesta Bowl is also here. Bluebonnet Bowl, Citrus Bowl, and of course someone from the Rose Bowl. Tomczak pulls back out, and he's got Taggart again. And so more than any game this year, they have suddenly gotten the tight end into the action. And Doug Mallory, number 8, on the coverage.
Here's another look at it. Taggart comes, you see him on the left side of your screen, number 80, comes all the way over. And you see the safety man come up and make the play right there. Now, Ohio State is confronted with that same situation again, Brent. 3rd down, about 1.5 yards. And Michigan has done a great job in this situation about 3 times in a row stopping Ohio State.
Here it is at 3rd and 2. Byers trips up, didn't get it.
Done it again.
Heath Byers, the ball carrier.
Mike Hammerstein led the defense.
Just an isolation play to the right. Byers does not dive over the pile. Right there, he gets tripped up by number 66, Mark Hammerstein. Great play. Look at all the penetration he got. And once again, on the key 3rd down play.
Byers is far less than 100% physically. Limping a bit. He's been held to 38 yards and 18 carries. And, of course, that 1 touchdown. Going off to the far side, having trouble with that ankle. Depressed about not making it. Tom Tupa punts it.
Oh, boy. Good one.
Johnson's going to let it go and hope it gets into the end zone. It does.
Ball goes into the end zone for a touchdown.
So it'll come out at the 20-yard line. 57 yards. That freshman has just boomed a punt. We'll be right back. It's a 7-6 game. On the bench, Kalik has been all over the field. Has a rain jacket on now, so the young man Spielman could find himself right in the middle of the most important defensive series of the year as far as the Buckeyes are concerned. They lead it by a point. There's 12:55 to go. It's 7-6. Zurbrugg splits the backs. The pound straight ahead, and they get no place. What a play by Giuliani, the middle guard.
He got a lot of penetration and met him right at the line of scrimmage and drove him right straight back. Real piece of work there. Number 59.
Perriman, the fullback, was the ball carrier. Jokic, rangy wide receiver, comes in. You can see Perriman and Giuliani slipped off the block as a good middle guard can. Control the center. Look at how disgusted the center is.
Yeah,
how did I miss that?
That's right. Yeah, great play by Giuliani.
2nd down and 11. Zurbrugg delivers on the screen to the 24-yard line, and Kummerow, the sophomore linebacker and the former high school quarterback, to make the stop.
That was a great play by Kummerow. It looked like that screen was going to be set up. Watch here. Zurbrugg will draw him in. A little slip screen out here to your right. And watch Kummerow come inside of the blocker right there. The blocker, number 78, absolutely missed it. And that is Mark Hammerstein.
Kolik is out for the rest of the game. Re-injury of the left shoulder. And he was very active. 11:39 to go. This is 3rd and 6 for Michigan. Zurbrugg to put it up. Clutch. Won't hit it, and he's slammed to the turf over there on the far side. Good defense that time by the Buckeyes. And Terry White, along with Pepper Johnson.
Johnson flushed him out, and Terry White made a great tackle on the play. What's interesting about it, Terry White, who's a free safety, is the number 2 tackler on that Ohio State Buckeye team. Really a good one.
Robbins will punt. Lanise, who has been a little shaky, returning punts, is standing on his 30-yard line. Juggled one, which he held, fumbled another toward the end of the first half, which set up their first field goal. And that time they did not get the ball in Lanice's hands. They punt it off to the side, and that fella number 11, that is Keith Key, who made the fair catch. We come back. There's 10:48 in a Rose Bowl at stake. More than 90,000 folks on hand. I'm Brent Musburger along with Ara Parseghian. Glad you're with us. It's been a good one, and there's more to come. 10:48. Buckeyes leading the Wolverines 7-6. Earl Bruce needs this victory to get into the Rose Bowl. Here's a 1st and 10. Ball is at the Buckeye 45-yard line. Mike Tomczak to throw on 1st down. All the time in the world, and now Brooks closes in on him. Tomczak could not get the ball off. His wide receivers were covered, and finally Brooks came free of a blocker and slammed Tomczak down. How about Boston College and Syracuse? Let's go get an update now from Pat O'Brien.
Brent, it is windy in Boston, so BC and Doug Flutie, they're staying on the ground a little more. This one to Troy Stratford. It is now 14-10 BC over the Orangemen. Back to Brent and Ara.
Tough afternoon, and of course that Syracuse team upset Nebraska earlier this season and played BC very well last year. On the delay, that is Keith Byers out to the 44. It was 2nd and 14, and he's short of the original line of scrimmage. They've got about a 3rd and 12, and Tim Anderson along with Kevin Brooks again moving in on the stop for the Wolverines.
I'll tell you what I would do, Brent. I would go to the ball with that Chris Carter. The play before, when Nate threw it, he wanted it so badly. He was downfield. He was open momentarily, but Tomczak seemed to freeze on the thing. Did not want to throw the ball. Seemed to be hesitant about throwing it.
Schembechler's defensive coordinator, Gary Moeller, the former head coach at Illinois, has done a marvelous job here this afternoon. He's matched against the former assistant he had at Illinois, and that, of course, is Mason, the offensive coordinator of the Buckeyes. Beautiful. Oh, Lanice grabbed the ball at the 40-yard line. Mike Lanice with a sensational catch for the Buckeyes. 17 yards, and that could be the biggest play of the game. They had to have a big one, and they got it.
Boy, this is a sensational catch. The ball is thrown slightly behind him. Right here, it's almost deflected. He turns, stretches out, and grabs that ball. That is a key play. 3rd down and 10, and he picks it up. Great job by Mike Lanice.
And that could give the Buckeyes an enormous lift here with 9:13 to go for a Rose Bowl. Byers is slammed down after a gain of about a yard, running behind the right side of that huge offensive line of his.
They really have done the job on Byers this afternoon. The Michigan defense has done an outstanding job, and with 8:56 left to go, they're bleeding that time off the clock, but they can't take any chances. They've got to get some more points on that board because a field goal can put them in trouble.
2nd and 8 for Tomczak and the Buckeyes. Let's throw it again. He wants Carter. He's got him for a 1st down and out of bounds at the 25. Let's see where they finally spot the ball. Inside of the 25, it looks like.
Well, that's the guy I go to, that Carter. He's a tremendous receiver. Same tailback action, gets good protection, and the coverage somewhere along the line is very, very soft here. As you see, the defenders are way off the ball. I think that was Doug Mallory, number 8, that was playing very soft on that side. There was no under coverage, and Tomczak hit it for a 1st down.
Tomczak 10 of 14 for 131 yards. Now Carter goes in motion. They'll run Byers. Into the wall, and he comes free, and on the 2nd effort, he's inside of the 15, and that catch of Lanice just gave the Buckeyes a tremendous lift.
Really was. And that made up, of course, for that fumble on that punt. Here comes Byers. Now watch him bounce off of a tackler, slide, and Mallory misses him, number 8 there, and he finally is brought down. But that was great 2nd effort on the part of Keith Byers. He's 12 for 51 now. Way below his average, of course.
8 minutes to go. Ohio State leading Michigan 7-6. 2nd down and 1. Short yardage situation for Wolverines have been very successful. Fake this time, and Tomczak's got the ball. Got the 1st down as he gets close to the 11-yard line. Scott Zielinski leading the way with a block as he pulled out to Brink Tomczak.
This keep play, he fakes the ball, and of course Byers draws some attention to himself, and Tomczak keeps it and leans forward and gets the 1st down.
Gotta like Zielinski coming around.
Did a great job.
Offensive lineman. Those guys will do it down there for you. Ball's on the 11-yard line.
Zielinski's one of the few guys on this team who's not from the state of Ohio. There's only about 5 of them starting out of the 22.
Carter in motion. Tomczak's got it again inside the 10-yard line.
Mike Tomczak, the ball carrier.
Tim Anderson, the inside linebacker, rode him down.
By Tim Anderson.
Second down and about 8 yards to go. Ohio State can get a first down by the 1-yard line and still not score a touchdown. Lanise bringing the plays in. Sometimes Ohio State will just send Tomczak a number like 1, 2, or something like that. He will look at a wristband where the plays are marked for him down there. That is to save time for Earl Bruce.
He's got to go to either Carter or Lanise on this play.
Sends Byers out over the middle, and he's got Big Keith Byers down at the 2-yard line. Mike Mallory. Aram, the Wolverines were thinking exactly what you were. Lanise or Carter, and of course that makes Byers even more dangerous.
What they wind up is putting the 4th receiver into the pattern after faking to him. Right here, they fake the ball to Byers, and he slips right through the line. No one's covering him here. They're double up on the wide side. There's Mallory, number 42, that comes up and makes the play, but they're down to the 2-yard line. Great play. This is an excellent drive by Ohio State with the key play, as you have pointed out, Brent, that catch by Lanise on 3rd down and long yardage.
Timeout, and Tomczak wants to huddle up with Earl Bruce, who takes the calls from Mason in the press box, and we'll be right back to Columbus.
Ladies and gentlemen, and students.
We're at the Michigan sideline, going through the goal line defense with them now, reminding them of their various keys, how they can always power that big fella Byers. I suppose surprise you with a fullback, although it's not likely that Earl Bruce will do that. Tomczak has been keeping the ball more than normal on the option, and of course, remember, Mike broke that leg in spring practice, that right leg, in 2 places. And they have been protecting him by not having him on the option this year. But here today, it's too important. Here it is now, 3rd and short, and there's Byers, dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State, and they're moving close to the Rose Bowl. Performer, 21 touchdowns, slowed by an injured ankle, been banged on all game long, but yet he's got the 2 most important runs of the game for Ohio State. The 2 touchdown runs as the Buckeyes move 55 yards in 10 plays. And let me tell you, the big one was Mike Lanise with that sensational reception. Spangler's extra point cuts the uprights, and with 6 minutes and 8 seconds to go, the Buckeyes are a whole lot closer to California than they were a short time ago.
Is there any question of doubt whether or not he's going to take this ball in the end zone? Look at that. I mean, he really is not going to be denied on that effort. Byers again from another angle. Watch him coming at you. Right there. Now he takes off. Protects the ball. Uses his left arm, and we'll be right back after this message. You can see the determination here as he dives. Watch him use his left arm here to break the fall so that he doesn't fumble the ball. He crosses the line. His 2nd touchdown of the day. He's had some kind of a year, although he has been stopped by his standards by carrying the ball 22 times today for 53 yards, way below his average. But the most important thing, he's got the 2 touchdowns in the game.
6:08, and it's 14-6. Spangler to kick it off for the Buckeyes. Jamie Morris set deep. He'll let this one go into the end zone and bounce out. And Chris Zurbrugg and the Wolverines will put it in play at the 20-yard line. Zurbrugg, 21 of 30 against Purdue, and today he is 13 of 22 for 140 yards. And of course, he threw that Critical interception, critical now when we look at the scoreboard and think about what has transpired here. And the Buckeyes will be thinking pass by Zurbrugg all the way here. Bean and Marcray come to the right side. They send Marcray in motion, and White will go across the field and take in. Zurbrugg rolls with time. It's his tight end Nelson. First down, fumble. Ohio State's ball. William White picks up the bouncing football.
Let's take another look here and see whether or not he hit the ground. I could not tell from this vantage point. Well, we can't see from that view. Let's see if we can take a whole look at it now. Zurbrugg does throw a good ball. Let's see whether or not the ball comes out before he hits the ground. Okay, there's a completion to Nelson. Boy, that's close. That is close.
I thought it was a fumble error. I thought the ball was being jarred loose by a hand there on the right side as he was going down.
Well,
Pepper Johnson and Chris Spielman were helping out on the tackle.
So did all the officials, so it looked close from this vantage point.
Now the Bucks will try to run that clock down at 5:58. Byers with a huge hole in the middle. Cuts over to the right. Inside the 25. 20 and out of bounds. In California, here we come. Two-yard run for Mr. Byers, who's getting stronger here as this game wears on.
Well, there's a big hole here. This is the biggest hole he has seen all afternoon. As you see the trap, and look at him read the daylight. Then you see Ivan Hicks, number 17, try to chase him down. Finally forces him out of the bounds right there, but not until he's picked up good yardage down inside that 20.
Lenise goes in motion behind Tomczak. Byers gets inside the 15-yard line. Sensich wrestles him down. 5:40 on the clock.
Also, when Michigan had that ball, if they'd scored the touchdown and had gone for the 2 points and made it a tie game, it still not would have influenced or lost the Rose Bowl for Ohio State, because they would have shared the title with Iowa, but the fact that they beat Iowa, they still would go to the Rose Bowl.
And this has been the toughest season yet for Bo Schembechler at Michigan. Now the penalty marker comes down. It's Earl Bruce and the Buckeyes of Ohio State in command, and if Bruce wins this, he would hold a 4-2 edge on Schembechler since he replaced Woody Hayes as coach of the Buckeyes. It'll also mark the second time that Bruce has taken the Buckeyes to Pasadena.
Offense.
And also the winningest coach in the last 5 years in the Big Ten.
And probably the most criticized along the way, I might add.
Let's go, Bucks, let's go!
Here's Woolridge, who's replaced Byers, breaks up the middle inside the 5-yard line. And the Buckeyes are going to get one more, it looks like.
It appears the resolve of the Wolverines is diminished some. Watch here from the end zone shot. Woolridge, oh, look at that hole. Those last 2 holes have been the 2 biggest holes that we have seen on the part of Ohio State in the entire game.
Real, what kind of an afternoon he'll have against the likes of Keith Byers, who just has scored his 3rd touchdown. And you can start the engines, folks. Here come the Buckeyes to California. You can write him down right now as the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy next year. And his strongest competition, I think, is going to come from that Brigham Young quarterback, Robbie Bosco.
The attempt for the extra point, definitely will center. Mike Lenise will hold in.
And I've just heard a vote from our producer, Rick Sharp, for Bernie Kosar of Miami. Why not? Sounds like a great race to me.
All good candidates.
We'll see Kosar next Friday here on CBS against this year's winner, if I can give him the trophy prematurely, Doug Flutie, who's had a marvelous year. And if you haven't seen him, be with us Friday afternoon. We'll be right back. Championship, and Mike Tomczak and his teammates have got a reason to smile and chant, "We're #1 here this afternoon." You go out and party that much in Pasadena, baby, and the Trojans will get on your number. That's a dilemma for a Big Ten coach, let me tell you. How do you handle it when you go out there? They've tried every which way. But for USC, that's just a home game. You just get in your car and drive on out there to Pasadena and play. Spangler to kick it off for the Buckeyes. Jamie Morris will be set deep for Bo Schembechler and the Wolverines. See if Jamie wants to bring this one out. He does not. Ball comes out to the 20-yard line. And for 43. How about checking the scoreboard here, Aaron, seeing what we got cooking around the country? Boy, that's a major one, isn't it?
That really is. 38-15, Navy coming back and beating #2 South Carolina.
There's BYU and Robbie Bosco, 10-7 over Utah at the half in that game. And how about Oklahoma State? They got a great team, don't they, Aaron?
Yep, third quarter, 13-10. Iowa State playing pretty strong, and there's one of the great teams, and Kentucky's given them a real battle. Florida's one of the better teams.
LSU being tied by Mississippi State.
First quarter.
And here it is, Michigan at the 20-yard line. Zurbrugg back to put it up. Under pressure, and he will not get the ball away. Fumble, but they're going to call it down right there at the 4-yard line. Ooh, the floodgates are opening now in Columbus.
Well, the game was without question won by this Ohio State team, but it did not come easy. Of course, here's the defense putting pressure on. Ohio State's defense is much improved in the last 3 games. And I think they did an outstanding job this afternoon. Here they are really putting the heat on Zurbrugg. He called him down, but that looked like that ball was coming out to me.
Era Bo Schembechler is about to lose for the 5th time this season. Washington beat him, of course, before the conference action heated on. And then Michigan State defeated him. Iowa beat him 26-0. Purdue got him 31-29. Now Ohio State's about to do a number on him with a loose ball inside the 5-yard line.
Oh, they've just fallen apart.
Here's a little more action from around the country in some other games. Boston College now beginning to pull away from Syracuse, and again we'll have BC and Miami next Friday afternoon on CBS. West Virginia, Temple, very close. They've had a good year at Temple. Penn over Cornell, and Penn, of course, the Ivy League champion. Your view of the horseshoe, and a record crowd in excess of 90,000. Zurbrugg from the end zone, out of bounds. And this will bring up about a 4th and 27-yard situation for Michigan at 3:06, and Robbins will come in here and punt.
This is the, well, as you see, Harvard is leading Yale in the 3rd quarter. I was going to say that this is the first time in 16 years that Bo Schembechler has lost 5 games.
Robbins back at the end zone to punt for Michigan. Ohio State will just let this one roll dead near midfield. And it takes a bounce for Michigan. Going to go down inside the 30-yard line, 2:54, and Bruce will send the offense out now to bring the clock down against Schembechler and Michigan. That is a 71-yard punt with that bounce. Nobody back to field it.
Well, Bo and Michigan gave him a battle, I'll say that. They were hanging in there until they finally wore down. And Ohio State put the scores on the board, and that was the key thing. The 3rd quarter belonged to the Wolverines, but they only got 3 points out of that. And the 4th quarter just turned completely around. Ohio State made all the yardage. They also got the ball into the end zone, and that's what it's all about.
Mountains of California, here we come. The Ohio State band. I'm rather surprised that Byers is out there pounding into that line. I guess with the loss of Woolridge, they're forced to keep him out there right now. And there's our Chevrolet MVPs. We're going to pick Brad Cochran, who did a great job in that secondary for Michigan, and Mike Lanise of Ohio State. And it was simply one play that got him that honor for us. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each college's General Scholarship Fund to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields. When it was 7-6, it was Lanise who made a great catch to keep a drive going on a 3rd down. Ohio State then moved in for its 2nd touchdown, and it seemed to pick up the team and the crowd when he grabbed that pass, Era.
It was a pivotal play in this football game, unquestionably, Brent.
Now there's the mascot of the Buckeyes. Brutus is his name, and the big story in Columbus about 36 hours ago was who stole Brutus's head. Out of the back seat of the student's car, they even offered a $1,000 reward. And someone suspected it was Michigan, but they found the head in a garbage can here in Columbus someplace, and all was well for Brutus here this afternoon. Final minute and a half now in Columbus, Ohio. Byers just adding more yardage to his total. It's out beyond the 40-yard line. UCLA and USC still to come your way here this afternoon. That'll have all the scores for you still on games that are in progress.
Please do not go on the playing field. The band will be performing after the game.
They hand to Byers.
Byers tripped up by number 17.
Ivan Hicks, and thanks to the crew that the executive producer of College Sports is Kevin O'Malley. Produced by Rick Sharp. Directed by Larry Cavallina. Our associate producer.
You see the disappointment on the other sideline, including the cheerleaders.
Well, we give Ohio State the football triumph. What do you say, Arrow? We give the Michigan band at least a draw with Ohio State.
Both great, let's put it that way.
Oh, I love those two bands. I'll tell you, you couldn't find better bands any place in the country than the two we had here this afternoon. They were great. Should be a good Rose Bowl game. You know that, Arrow? Ohio State and USC. That'll be a good matchup out there.
Well, we've seen that matchup before. Southern California has been the surprise team after a disappointing year last year.
Seen him throughout much of the season. I thought he threw the ball better, ran with confidence, and did a lot of good things out there.
You got to keep in mind, too, coming into this ball game, this was an explosive Ohio State offensive football team, averaging over 450 yards a game and 35 points a game. So this is, even without Tomczak running the option play, as he had right now trying to fake the fullback, they still put a lot of points on the board. This was a great offensive team. The defense did not match it in the early going, but in the last 3 ball games, I think they're a much improved team. From the Wisconsin game that we did 3 weeks ago.
Ohio troopers there protecting the goalposts at both ends. Hold your fort, men. Don't give any ground down there. Bo is not going to be happy about a couple of moments in this game. There's a couple he would love to have over. One, that discretionary timeout. If that had been granted Zurbrugg, who knows if they get a touchdown in that situation rather than kicking a second field goal, but of course ifs, right? Earl Bruce has gone down to tell the students and the spectators down in that corner to stay back and let them finish the game. And again, he's motioning to get them back off to the side.
And they're surging onto the field. They can't keep them back off of there.
And we're going to have a celebration here in Columbus. And I hope it's a joyous one. There's not any destruction like they experienced up in Detroit after the World Series triumph. That's kind of ridiculous. That's good time to enjoy, huh? Here's a punt by Tupa. Johnson stops the clock with 30 seconds to go.
Tupa's punt is returned by Giovanni Johnson.
That Tupa's got a great future here at Ohio State. As I told you, he was a high school quarterback and a good one, and the coaches are going to take a look at him at that position next year.
You know, he's not a little fella either. 6'5", 205 pounds, great leverage on the ball, and they said that he has some potential to be the quarterback.
So the Ohio State Buckeyes go to the Rose Bowl, and you know, Ara, we have to feel a little bit for a friend of ours, Hayden Fry. He let this one get away from him, but they suffered so doggone many injuries out there at Iowa when they lost a great running back, Ronnie Harmon, and then it came right down to that two-point conversion, and they just came up a few inches short. Here's Zerbrug over the middle. Hits his big tight end, Sim Nelson.
The pass was complete to number 95.
And that'll be the last play unless they get 16 seconds left.
Tackled by Gary Alders, the number 93.
The celebration is underway in Columbus. The Buckeyes are going to the Rose Bowl. The Bucks are headed to their locker room here at Ohio Stadium. Chris Carter and Bo Schembechler will lead the Wolverines into their locker room, and this has been the toughest season for Bo at Michigan.
Yeah, it's not often, as a matter of fact, the first time, as you mentioned and as I mentioned previously, that this man has lost 5 games. That's an incredible record. He's been a real winner, but he's had a tough time. Here comes the Buckeyes in the jubilant locker room, and as you see Bo Schembechler walking off the field. Well, I think the biggest difference in this football team was well, we'll be right back after this message.
And we will indeed return after these messages from your local stations.
Sooners and the Huskers ready to go.
Number 78, defense.
Hey, Dad, look at Harold's new Japanese car.
Colt? Colt's not a Japanese car.
Sure, feel how soft the doors are.
Look at the fit. And what a deal I got.
Oklahoma, and when you say those words, you know you're in for a great football game. Here's the flip of the coin with referee Vance Carlson.
Take the first half or the second half. You take the second half. Okay, they win the toss, but they decline the first half option. Nebraska, you may kick or receive or defend either goal. You will receive. All right, Oklahoma, which end do you want to defend? Oklahoma defends this end. So Nebraska receives. Shake hands, guys. We'll start the game in 1 minute and keep rolling, PA.
There, the series record between these two teams. And I am not surprised that Oklahoma chose to kick off because, as we noted, it is a cold, windy day. The wind gusting at times and will be blowing from right to left. So Oklahoma will have the wind at their back in the first quarter. And they will be kicking the ball to Nebraska, a doubly dangerous football team when it comes to returning the kick.
The kick and return kicks may be the difference in this ball game, Keith. If we look at Barry Switzer, the safety men of Nebraska are exceptional in returning them, particularly on punt returns. Smith is first in the nation. Swanson is third in the nation, 17 and 14 yards respectively.
It was Swanson that had a big punt return that got Nebraska going for its victory over Oklahoma State. Swanson, number 17, is deep now to receive this kickoff, along with Doug Dubose, who figures to do the bulk of the work at tailback unless Jeff Smith's ankle has come around. Jeff, as you saw the numbers on him there, has been an outstanding player, but he has labored all year long with a sore ankle. Lasher will kick it off for Oklahoma. The Sooners are in white. We are in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we are ready to go. It's a very high kick and way back into the end zone. Swanson will put it down, and Nebraska will have the football first down at its own 20. And Travis Turner will open at quarterback, 6